I'm painting a landscape study today from a photograph, and I have a Strathmore mixed media paper with white artist tape border around the edge, and I'm just putting a little bit of matte medium on the paper over the taped edge. It's a little bit of extra insurance in the hopes of preventing bleed through. Now I'm coating the background a background color of orange, just to have something as a colored ground opposed to working on the white paper. I've chosen orange to complement the blue sky, but I could have just as easy chosen red because of all the greens in the landscape. It's nice to have this background color, and I often use the opposite of what's going to be in my painting palette. I'm just checking here to see where the edge is there. This is one of the downsides of the white paper, is it's hard to tell where you stop and start. I've mixed up some dark value out of my blue, which is anthracnone blue, and cadmium red. I've just got a small brush that I'm mapping in my composition, just my big shapes there at the horizon line. So I'm not wanting to paint this in any kind of realistic manner, but just a simplified down version, and this is a pretty simple landscape, so that's a great place to start if you want to learn to simplify your landscapes, is start with a photo reference that's already simplified, and you will get good results without having to work as hard perhaps. So I'm putting in the dark colors here on the trees, just establishing those shapes. So don't think of them as a bunch of trees, think of them as an actual shape. I'm using a 1-inch flat brush here. It's best, if you want to stay loose, to use a bigger brush opposed to a tiny little brush. And the first block-in stage, I don't want to get too much detail, but just kind of get the colors blocked in. So we've got some green here that is feeling way too bright. I'm going to neutralize it with some red, so using the opposite, and adding a bit of my blue-green in there as well. A little of the burnt sienna. So I'm trying to mute this area that's going to be in the distance. And again, think of it as shapes, and also think of painting your whole painting. So I'm putting some of this color in the foreground as well. Even if a lot of it will be covered up, I'll still have a relationship to the color I put further back. Putting out some more yellow here. So I have a pretty messy palette already, but I think it'd be better if you're not really familiar with mixing color that you have a clean palette to mix on. I was painting another painting and had some paints left over and just decided to continue. So there's not a lot of mixing space here, but I think I can make it work. So I'm putting in a band of brighter green in this area, and I'm trying to leave some of the glow from the underpainting and little pops of color peeking through in places. I don't want to lose all of that. doing little studies is a great way of practicing and also of testing some ideas out on a smaller scale and thinking about if you might want to make a larger painting. So here I'm just using a gift card and I'm doing some scraping. So just trying to pull some different color over top of my undercolor, and I am working wet and wet here, so the paint is lifting and moving around. You would get a different effect if it was completely dry. Going to put in some dark just at the bottom. Now a lot of this will be covered up, but it will give a little bit of depth. And if you look at the photo reference, you will see that there's kind of a dark edge near the bottom there. So I want to have a relationship between those dark tree shapes in the background area in the distance. So I'm coming back into the tree line and adding a few shapes to break up the dark kind of rectangular feel of this shape. If one of your goals is to loosen up your paintings, I do have a kind of a cheat sheet, a reference PDF guide on how to loosen up. 7 tips that will help you. One of those tips is to hold your brush near the end rather than real close up to the bristle. If you'd like to have that PDF guide, you can sign up for my newsletter and download that PDF for your reference. I'll leave the link in the description below. So mixing up some red, and I'm going to add some yellow to that just to get kind of a rusty fall tone. Put a little bit of that into my painting in various places. So you want to keep things connected. Don't just stay in one area. Now I put in some lighter color, which I'm not really crazy about, but that will probably change. If you're interested in learning to paint simplified landscapes and would like to take an online or in-studio workshop, please let me know in the comments. So if there's enough interest, I can put something together. Also, if you want more help with your work, I do offer critiques and one-on-one coaching. You can also join my Facebook group community. It's private by either invitation or you can ask to join. And you can post up work there and get feedback from myself and other members. It's a safe place to do that. Everybody is kind and gives good feedback, so come on over and join us. So just breaking up these shapes by adding some lights in. So I don't want to be a slave to the photo reference. I do want to make this my own painting. So I'm not concerned about the colors being exactly the same. I'm going to check it with a working mat here to really see it. And that's something I suggest you do. If you standardize your sizes and get a couple of different size mats so that you can work either square or rectangular, so that you can see exactly what's happening. It's hard to see when you've got this messy edge. So I'm blocking in the sky now, and I'm using a cerulean blue with some titanium white to make a tint. And I'm putting it on fairly thick. Adding a little bit more white in as I'm coming down towards the horizon. This is a place where you can do some reductive painting around your shapes. So changing your shapes by painting the negative area, that is often more successful and easier to do than actually painting in those shapes. I do want to leave some of these little hints of orange in around the horizon line and capture that feeling of light just coming over the trees. So again, changing the shape here to make it look a little bit more like trees in the distance, and adding a little bit of light into the sky. So I don't want pure white. I put a little bit of the green in amongst the white. And now I've mixed up this blue-green color. Not sure why I actually put it in the tree there. But just adding a little bit in a few places to break up these shapes. So I'm starting to take some artistic license now, because it's a painting, right? I'm not trying to make a photographic representation of it. It wants to be a little bit looser and more painterly than being totally like the photograph. And to be honest with you, to try and paint it like that would totally bore me. I need to put my own expression in it, and I think that's vitally important, and you should strive for it as well. Just cleaning that up with my finger where I painted lower than I wanted to go. So that's one thing about acrylic, you can wipe it back if you get at it quickly. Just going to take another look at it through my mat and see what changes need to be made here. So adding a little bit more dark in that tree line. Now I'm using a bamboo skewer to scratch back in here some stems, some branches, just to break it up a little bit. And again, creating some looseness here in the foreground by scratching back in. Now the paint has to be wet still in order for you to do this. If you are enjoying my videos and want to support me so I can continue on, consider chipping in to my tip jar on Buy Me a Coffee. Even $5 will make a difference. Oops, my brush just fell apart. Maybe I need to buy a new brush. So just trying to get a little bit more light in there. Now I've changed up to a different brush, so hopefully this one stays together. So these are Crayola children's brushes. They're not overly expensive, but I find they work well. So just coming back in here in the sky and around my shapes, just bringing a little bit of light in. And coming back in with a little brighter cloud there. Oops, I picked up some orange on my brush. So I'm just going to blend that in a little bit. Take another look at this through the mat. I'm going to attempt to put in those buildings back on the hill. Now you could certainly opt to leave these out. So changing the shape slightly. And I did put in a second one, and I'm just correcting there where I made a smudge. I'm putting a tree in between, and I realized after doing this that that tree should have been muted down in that layer behind those trees. It should be a lighter color. I may go back and fix that, but we'll see. It's just a study. I'm going to take the tape off now and let you see it without the messy edges. It makes such a difference. I hope you enjoyed that, and please leave a comment below if you have any questions. I'm happy to answer them, and happy painting.